Hi, this is Barry Corey, and I know that with the coronavirus, we're walking down some uncharted paths, and with this sometimes comes anxiousness and fear. I've heard from our employee community, from parents and from students, many of whom are concerned and overwhelmed and unsettled trying to navigate through these new circumstances. I too have spent time wrestling with the situation, praying and discerning along with the administrators and senior leaders on campus on how best to care for and lead our community. I'd like to take a few minutes today and share some of my personal reflections with you, as well as some important updates that I think you'll find helpful and hopeful. Let me assure you that in the face of COVID-19, we have Biola teams working tirelessly, nearly around the clock, protecting and caring for our community. This week I commissioned a task force called CURT, which stands for COVID-19 University Response Team, to seek input, set direction, make plans, and provide recommendations to the President's Cabinet. This team has been on task and exceedingly wise. As you know, our campus is open and our student services are unhindered. We're also stepping up our remote services and our hours of operation so that students, no matter where they are, can access offices and resources from a distance if need be. Today, March 13th, is our last day of in-person classes for the spring semester. We're working earnestly and creatively to make the educational experience of more than 6,000 students at Biola University as fulfilling as possible. I can only imagine how many questions many of you have right now. We've received inquiries regarding housing and finances and classes and access, among other things, and we're working to answer them in a way that is quick, clear, and helpful based on the information we have. We'll keep updates flowing and be sure to click the banner across the top of our homepage. I want to say again, Biola has no confirmed cases of COVID-19. FAQs are being set up for students, for staff, for parents and faculty so that you have answers to your most pressing questions. And we have a hotline anyone, anytime can call for assistance. And that number is 562-906-4501. With COVID-19 comes important cautionary measures like social distancing, avoiding larger groups, refraining from touching public surfaces, monitoring and testing health situations as they arise, and extraordinary attention to disinfecting common spaces. These and other recommended measures are known to be the surest way to minimize the spread of the virus, and we are honoring these. And within these common sense actions, we have reconstituted some of our normal practices. As you know, with university support, each professor is now working to translate their course material, assignments, and individual approaches in ways that fulfill their course outcomes and preserve the educational values of a Biola education. In this way, we'll deliver the balance of the spring semester's courses remotely. We'll begin streaming our chapel programs as of March 23rd. We have canceled larger events or chosen instead to provide them digitally. Please know that our role is both to respond to the coronavirus responsibly and within government guidelines, but also to make sure our students, as far as possible, receive the kind of education that is uniquely Biola. Faculty are at work making adjustments so that by later next week, they'll have instructions to their students on how their courses will be offered during the semester's balance. We hope and pray to be back to normal after that. We're committed to doing everything possible to continue the safety and health of our community and to preserve the educational programs that have attracted students to Biola and kept them coming back. This morning I happened to talk to Addie, a freshman journalism major, and she shared with me how much in these few months she has come to love this community. And even with the changes in how we are delivering our education for the coming handful of weeks, we know that the future of Biola is strong. And we'll learn, even from this moment of national and international concern, how we can continue the high quality of education our students deserve. Short-term adjustments will result in long-term gain. And I'm convinced that through this temporary disruption and, yes, inconvenience, We will emerge stronger, more innovative, smarter, and unwavering in the soul of this university. This is not a first for our world, our nation, or even this university. Professor Fred Sanders today forwarded to me how Biola in 1918 responded to an influenza epidemic. Here's what was written in our magazine 102 years ago. Quote, "Classes have been suspended for 6 weeks owing to the epidemic of influenza. Lesson work, however, has been assigned regularly to students and examinations have been given." End quote. In other words, in the 6 weeks of suspended classes in 1918, students were given non-traditional ways of completing their coursework. We have 6 weeks left in the semester. It's also interesting, as Dr. Sanders noted, that some students needed to stay in their rooms to recover, and churches suspended worship meetings during that period. You know, I read in those words how God had guided, protected, and provided for Biola during that temporary setback. And God hasn't changed, and He'll do the same. Again, we are committed to ongoing communication through our website and FAQs and messages from me. And I've seen in the last few days faculty and staff, trustees and leaders rally around our students and adapt to the virus outbreak in a way that reminds me of why I love serving at Biola University. A week ago, I spent a few days at a retreat center praying and reflecting on what it means to be a follower of Jesus in our current climate. It was a wonderful few days, and little did I know what I would be facing a week later. On my way out of that retreat center called Glastonbury Abbey, I spotted a ceramic plaque in their gift shop. It contained the words of Saint Benedict. It said this, "Ora e labora," Latin for pray and work. And this is our calling. We are praying hard for God's wisdom, His relief, and His grace in this time. And we're working hard to make sure we steward well the jobs the Lord has given us as a sacred trust. I think this is what the poet meant when he said in Psalm 90, "May the favor of our Lord God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us." Yes, establish the work of our hands. Our prayer is for God's favor. And we pray He indeed establishes the hard work of our hands. Pray and work. It's not either, it's both. So thank you. Thank you for your part within the Biola community. And we promise to continue to keep you posted on the developments all the way through until this challenge recedes. God bless you.